welcome to the 58th episode of Recluse Horror. This is a daily horror movie review podcast. With me again today is Sam.
Hey.
So just a little background on the project. Back on my birthday in April, I decided I wanted to watch and review a horror movie every single day. I have done so for the past 325 days. So most episodes I review 2 movies, one of which I've watched that very night, and another that I've previously reviewed in text. All of the episodes before the podcast were text reviews, where I just go over any impressions that I have left, aided by the text reviews. But because it's already like 2 hours later than I usually record the podcast, today I'll just be doing the movie that I watched today, which is a short film. I have been doing a bunch of short films lately because I'm short on time. I'm just going to go ahead and throw an apology out there right now. I'm super wired from, I don't drink energy drinks, and I drank one today, and so if I get motor mouthy in the middle here, I apologize. I'm trying to control my cadence a little bit, but I feel like once I get into it, I might speed up a little bit. So I apologize for that. So the short film that we watched today was Occupied from 2015. I believe it's 2015. There doesn't appear to be an IMDb page, and unfortunately there's also a series called Occupied that came out the same year, so it might just be buried and hard to find. But so Sam, what did you think about Occupied?
I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. It had some problems.
It did. I actually enjoyed this too. There were definitely some moments where I was like, oh, I'm gonna friggin' hate this because they're gonna do something that I don't like. And even though they did do the thing that I don't like, the way that they ended it was actually, like, the very, very end, the last shots were really interesting. And so I was like, okay, I was disappointed with this aspect, but overall, I enjoyed how they ended it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you felt, kind of?
A little bit. I was already saying, like, it feels like the beginning of the X-Files.
Yeah, he said this immediately after the episode.
And then from the end of the short, they'd be like, okay, Scully, we got a case down at the occupied place.
The scenario, the area in which this movie takes place.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
To solve it, we gotta go down there.
Yeah.
So I, like, in a way I like that, because I like those
X-Files.
cold opens of X-Files.
Oh, yeah, they're super great.
Yeah,
when
super
they do
good.
it, because they follow up on it.
Yeah, that's the thing about this. Is that's it. That's all there is.
Just what's here in this 6 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, and it gave me enough to like it, but at the same time, it was like, okay, well,
where's the movie now?
There's
your prologue.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
well, just hard to be too mad at it, because that's what it is. It's a goddamn.
It's a short film.
Yeah.
And technically, it has a beginning, middle, and end, even if it's not a full end and stuff.
Yeah, and doesn't explain.
Yeah, and doesn't explain stuff. So Occupied, basically, this guy is working late, and he goes to the bathroom. Occupied. And while he's in the restroom, somebody bangs on the stall door. Somebody or whatever. There's a bang on the stall door, and he's like, what the fuck, man? There's nobody else in this bathroom, a bunch of other stalls. Fuck you. Not literally, but and goes out, and then a horror movie starts from that point.
Horror movie starts.
Yeah.
That happens.
That'll happen. Horror movies start when you're by yourself, like, late at night.
Yeah, sure.
That's how they start. That's why you don't go jogging at night if you're a girl. It's the beginning of every cold case file that ever happened. So yeah, there are definitely some parts of this movie that I was disappointed with, but I was so impressed, honestly, with that last shot. It was just sort of neat, and how they did it, and how they showed that. It almost emphasized the ambiguity and made it better. Not better that it was ambiguous, but it definitely took a lot of the sting out of the ambiguity, I felt like.
I agree. I think there's a lot of artfulness in this.
Yeah.
That was unnecessary.
Yeah.
For like a 9-minute movie. But it
6?
really, yeah, whatever. But really showed. There's a few shots of close-ups. And you could tell it's just like a place they filmed.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a set that someone's like, okay, so I want all this to be this. They kind of just found the shots within the space.
Yeah, which is impressive.
Yeah, and it looks, though that aspect is very good. Maybe the rest of it's pretty stock and very standard to below standard to some degrees.
Of it. Okay.
But that specifically, finding good camera angles, finding good spaces, finding good shots it was really, really good. That's pretty much what I noticed the whole time. Yeah. Is how well things are framed, how well like pickup shots work with the film, the way it's progressing.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, the again, the location is nothing special, but they definitely, I mean, and it's actually even on the boring side, I would even say.
Definitely.
But just, they were so careful about the cinematography and making everything, there's some real tension in that. 6 minutes trying to build tension, especially towards the end, really hard to do. And they, there's some tracking shots, there's some very interesting camera angles. The very final shot is a really cool camera angle. I mean, it's nothing that I haven't seen in other movies, but they used it very well, and it's clear that was something that they really methodically thought out.
Yeah, it's probably not, there's nothing you could just be like, oh, let's do it that.
Yeah, that's nothing that you just decide, like, okay, we'll use this camera angle, and then since we're doing this, we'll do this. No, this had to have been somehow written in, or whoever it was who was the cinematographer worked with the writer and was like, oh, then we should do this. I mean, it's possible that it just worked out that way, but it seems really, really unlikely. So it was very well thought out. What did you think about the acting?
It was fine. It was minimal, but it was
minimal. Got the point across.
Yeah, I got the point across. It was fine.
Yeah. There wasn't anything that I was, definitely, there's not too much that also stretched anybody's abilities, but I also didn't feel like they were unstretched, like that they were, it did what it needed to do. I think just the impressiveness of some of the, again, like being able to find the shots in the location, very, very good. Hard to do too, and not only on a short film where typically you have a very small window of time that you can get to know your space and then start filming. But also, again, being able to build in tension in a time where, again, you don't get a lot of time with the location, and, there's no money, so it's not like you can rent it out for this month or something, or like, we'll use this for the entire month when you're closed. Because it does seem like an actual operational building.
Yeah, I would be surprised if it wasn't in some way.
Being able to get a horror film that has any sort of mood or tension, and there's definitely a little bit of mood and some tension, that looks this boring, kind of like. And again, I don't want to say that as a negative, because again, it's a found space, and it's probably a lot to do with budget, but like I almost like it more that it's boring, because they were still able to build on that and make it interesting and make it feel like a horror movie, without having a location that's inherently scary.
Right. Like
in Dollface, when that was just such a great location that had so much character and so much stuff in it.
Yeah, that it became a big point part of the movie and add to the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to get something across so shortly.
Yeah.
It's very important, because you have to take a look to see it, opposed to build through dialogue or other. Yeah.
And this has almost no dialogue as well.
Oh yeah, almost none.
There's I feel like maybe 6 lines of dialogue in the whole thing, and it's all in the very beginning, pretty much. The whole thing is very good. There was also, like, I wouldn't say that I was scared, but there was, like, some anticipation towards the end that they were able to build, which is something that's kind of hard to do, where, like, not quite dread, but almost dread, where, like, you're waiting for something to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's just a different form of tension, of course, but it was, like, actually kind of tense, and like I'm waiting for something to happen, and they let that sort of linger.
Right, yeah, that was... I would say, like, other than maybe some of it be feeling a little amateurish.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't
Lighting isn't super great.
Some of the effects on the movie were a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
And not particularly to my liking.
Mm-hmm.
But not terrible.
No, they're not terrible. They're just sort of overused sometimes.
They were just done a little weird.
Yeah.
But other than not having, like, any sort of conclusion-ish, like,
mm-hmm.
like, the thing happens and you're like, okay, well, that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's start the episode of the X-Files, you know?
Right.
Other than that, like, it's really good. Like, I liked it. There's not too much more I could say bad about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I did find the IMDb.
Oh, you did?
And, like, there's 2 people that worked on it. There was another actor.
Uh-huh.
But there's 2 directors.
Okay.
And, like, neither of them have done anything else.
Oh, Mitchell Kirby and Taylor Kirby, so they must be siblings. Not sure if they're men or women or whatever. Anything else?
Taylor Kirby, I think, is the main character.
Oh, that's the actor?
Maybe. They don't have pictures for either.
Oh, okay.
Of them, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
There was only 2 actors in the short.
Yeah. Only 2 actors. Is it from 2015?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. I just wasn't able to find
but, they haven't done anything else. I'd be interested in seeing something else.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'd love to see a second one of these, but I'd also... Something else. Like, they clearly have some talent there.
Yeah, even...
Especially working with what they had.
Yeah, like, a lot of stuff is stuff I've seen from other stuff, like, angle-wise and camera-wise. But even them just copying, like, what other people have done, you know, which...
They applied it well.
Yeah,
even if
which
you
that's
think
what I mean.
It's derivative.
Which is applied to the narrative of the story well, so... Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing something else, or see if it would still have that artfulness to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not shot like... your horror movie of the week.
No.
You know, just still angles or...
Yeah. Oh, no, there was some real thought put into this. I'm very appreciative of that, because they clearly did so much with so little. And even if it wasn't perfect and there's things that could have been better, it you know, that is what it is. Like, it's not an easy thing to do, and you know, you don't accidentally stumble on that sort of talent. Like, you know, knowing that particular shot in the end is going to be a good shot. Some of those other shots... Yeah, right.
Knowing some of the tracking shots or
the tracking
angle shots serve a purpose to show that things are, you know, askew and so on, so forth.
But without seeming like they're just using odd camera angles just to be odd. Yeah. Like, they're used right in the right places.
Yeah, it's not just weird camera angles.
Yeah. It's like they were just experimenting with camera angles in this one. No, it's not. They're used when they should be, and they're not used when they shouldn't be.
Right.
Yeah. And some of them, even the simple like dead on sort of shots, like, those are used in the right places too.
Yeah, blocked well.
Yeah, blocked very well. Yeah, framed very well.
The color is good in them.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, all around, there's really very little negative to say about this. Like I said, the location is a little run of the mill, but under the circumstances, they used it incredibly well.
It has the same problem as any short film. It's just a short film.
Yeah.
I always check the IMDb
reviews.
Reviews.
Yes.
I always look at them to see, especially on short films, because it's always funny. And they're like, 7 minutes and nothing even happened. So, yo, it's like 7 minutes. What do you want them to happen?
What do you want them to just talk really fast and give you 3 acts and, like...
How much did you want from it?
Yeah.
So it always makes me laugh. Like, it's like, yeah, there's legitimate criticisms that can be made of short films, but when that's, like, the thing, it's like, yo, it's short and not enough happened. It's like...
kills me.
It's like,
Your criticism can't be that it's 7 minutes. You watched a short film.
Yeah,
it's not like they told you it was an hour and a half, and then it turns out to be 7 minutes. Fuck you.
Yo, I watched a short film. Problem was, too short.
Oh, God.
Too filmed, too.
Too filmed, also. Yeah. I hated this movie because it was a movie. I hated this horror movie, and this is a real thing. I know we've talked about it. I hated this horror movie.
Because I didn't feel like watching a horror movie.
Yeah, because I didn't want to watch a horror movie or don't like horror movies. Why do horror movies exist? It's like, fuck you and get away from my movie. Don't rate that down because you're an idiot. If you don't like it, don't rate it. Don't watch it. I don't go to romantic comedies and fucking put 1 star on them because I hate romantic comedies. I don't put it on because...
see, I do that. No, I don't do that. I don't rate things.
Yeah.
What kind of psychopath you gotta be?
I know, right? Those people who obsessively rate things on...
Oh, we're gonna get a down rating for this now.
Oh, man. Now
cut this out.
I'm gonna rate this. I'm gonna have to cut it out. But yeah, I mean, like, if I were a person who... I am a person who doesn't like romantic comedies... I'm not going to go on IMDb and voice my opinion and give basically a rating is a suggestion to somebody else.
Right.
That's what I feel like. So if I'm suggesting this is a 2-star movie, but people who like romantic comedies think it's 8 stars, my opinion isn't helpful.
If you like that type of movie, you would, if it's a good
like
version of that, you would like it. Yeah. No, I agree.
Whereas you wouldn't necessarily be able to identify it from my place where I hate romantic comedies. They all are fucking garbage. There's like 3 good ones.
Okay.
There are.
Okay.
The 3 good ones are Love Actually, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and I'm leaving 1 open spot because I know there's another one that I probably like that I can't think of. What about you? What are your 3 rom-coms? I know this is totally appropriate to the scenario.
I would have to go look at my master list of
many romantic comedies.
Romantic comedies, yeah.
Yeah. Don't you like There's Something About Mary or something?
I don't really say that's a romantic comedy.
It's not a romantic comedy?
You would say it. There's
I hate rom-coms.
A bit of romance in it.
Is it really more just a straight comedy? Okay. The whole thing just centers You're right. You're
already
right. It is
tired
more
of talking about this.
It is more of a comedy. You're right. I do remember. I just don't like that.
Comedies. I know. That's like if you went and rated comedies.
Yeah, exactly. This is my whole point. Like, I don't know the difference between this comedy that has romance in it and a romantic. Are the other 2 that I named romantic comedies? I guess Love Actually is more romance. Love Actually
is more romance, but I think that's a rom-com.
But it's definitely...
Most rom-coms are mostly romance. Mostly romance. That's the difference I always make.
Oh, okay.
I think the other way, I think Forgetting Sarah Marshall is a comedy romance.
Comedy romance. Okay, I would say
Which is a less of a thing.
But it is closer to a rom-com than
Something About Mary. Something About Mary. Sure, that's what I meant, yeah. For sure is.
Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Tomorrow, your homework is to find your top 3 rom-coms to tell on our horror movie podcast.
It's probably most of the Muppet movies. All 3 Muppet movies, even if there's more than that.
Yeah.
The Muppets Take Manhattan, the Muppet movie, and Muppet Treasure Island.
Muppet Treasure Island. Okay. What about Follow That Bird? Is that a rom-com?
No.
I like Follow That Bird.
It's a sad-com.
I know, it's a sad-com. The Bluebird of Sadness. Oh.
I give this movie 5 empty toilets.
5 empty toilets. Yeah, that's our review of Occupied from 2015. Awesome. I don't know why we got it. Just because people hate short films and it bugs the shit out of me for being short. It always is going to bug me. Don't watch short films if you don't like short films. Don't watch rom-coms if you don't like rom-coms. Or at least don't rate them on the internet.
Don't watch horror movies.
Throw off all the fucking
Don't watch horror movies
if you're
an
asshole.
Like horror movies.
Don't watch horror movies if you hate horror movies. Don't. All of the life lessons that we're giving out that feels like common sense.
Handing out life lessons on the podcast now.
Hecka. Yeah, about which rom-coms are rom-coms. That's knowledge I need, because I hate all of them. I hate all of them. So, yeah, that's Occupied from 2015, and rom-coms, just generally. That's our review of those. Sam will come back tomorrow with his top 3 rom-coms.
I told you them already.
The Muppet movies. I'm gonna rate this one. I'm gonna say 7.5 really well applied camera angles. That's what I rate this.
Pretty accurate.
Just rate this one, yeah. Mm-hmm. Super great. For those not familiar with our reviews our ratings and how we do those, they're completely meaningless. They're not out of any specific number.
Maybe yours are.
They're meaningless and not out of any specific number, so it's not like 7 out of 10 or 5 out of 5 or any of that. We're just nerds. So, and think that ratings are either star ratings or regular ratings are kind of meaningless because they're so subjective, which is kind of what we were just talking about for the last 3, 5, whatever minutes. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this podcast, please rate, review, subscribe, whatever it is on whatever site that you found us. If you would like to help out the show, the best thing you can do is share it with someone that you love or someone that you know likes horror movies or people talking about rom-coms on horror movie podcasts or whatever. If you would like to reach out to us on social media, you can do so on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or you can email me at reclusehorror@gmail.com. If you would like to share this with someone and they don't have the same platform as you, you can find, or if you don't like the platform that you found us on, you can find us on YouTube, Player FM, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Podcast Addict, or pretty much any podcatcher out there. Sam ran away because I think he had to use the bathroom, so he won't be able to say goodbye. So on behalf of Sam and myself, goodbye.